How to grind Fortnite rank. I'm going to answer this question with 4 easy steps. Number 1, your landing spot. Number 2, your loadout. Number 3, rotations. Number 4, how to deal with the endgame chaos. Now you're probably asking yourself, is this advice only for good players? No. So far, I have went all the way from bronze to champion 23% while literally riding this unicycle simply by following these steps. So if I could do it, so can you. Let's get right into it. First things, I'm looking for something that's uncontested. I used to land south of Dojo and that secret bunker, but what happened is the loot was pretty good there off rip, and I was getting contested a lot. So now I land on the north shore of the island, if you will, because a lot of times that is uncontested. Now you're probably asking yourself, how do I find uncontested loot or landing spots? I always try to end on the as far away from this line as possible. And it looks like I'm going to go to Lavish's spot. I'm not going to go to Canyon Crossing. That's too close to the center line. Because especially when you are fighting in Elite and with these champion players, if you fight off rip, you're really not gaining a whole lot of points, and you're risking more than you could lose. Now, what if you land somewhere and it's contested, or if you feel like you're going to get in some sort of risky fight? I try to always land somewhere where there is a vehicle nearby. Because if you end up having to fight for loot, get in a sticky situation, you do want to be able to get out of there. Now, step 2, what is the loadout that we're looking for? We want a loadout that's going to work at the highest of levels. I always go with 2 guns, which is the Sentinel shotgun, which is in my first slot, and the Hollow AR, which is in my second slot. Now, why is this? When you look at the top competitive players, they are always doing damage. When you use the Sentinel shotgun with the Hollow AR, it works as kind of a hybrid loadout. You shoot your shotgun, you switch to the AR, you're still spraying, and then you switch back to your shotgun. That is the simple procedure that you're going to have to get used to fight in these higher lobbies. Now you're probably wondering, what about survival items or heals? In my third slot, I always keep a shield bubble, which I'll get into that a little bit more later. And definitely shockwaves. I would prefer shockwaves over an Oni mask simply because it is an immediate getaway. And you can hold 6 in one slot, so if you do really run into a lot of trouble, it is an immediate result. Now in my 5th slot, I always keep heals. Now in one of the end game ranks I'll show you, I end up not having heals, but I'll show you why that's not the biggest deal, because of the survival items that I carry. So now that the preparation is done, we're gonna get into the rotations. As you can see, I haven't talked about fighting whatsoever, because typically I'm not looking to get into a fight unless I absolutely have to take it until I get into the top 15, the end of the game. So a lot of times I will find somewhere on the edge of the map and I will camp out there until it's important to go somewhere else or rotate to zone. Now in the first couple circles, the forecast is going to become available. That end game knowledge and knowing where the zone is going to go is pretty helpful. But I have died a lot of times, even going through the diamond rank, because so many people want the information, or people will even camp inside and kill me as I'm trying to get that info. Now, let's say we're in the top 20 or the top 10. I have found it to be successful by playing the edge of storm rather than getting straight to zone. Because if you're in zone and everybody's collapsing in on you, it could be riskier than playing the edge and waiting for an extra 5 people to die by the time you get there. Now that we've done all the preparation from our landing spot, our loadout, our rotations, we're now in the end game, the full-on chaos of the top 15, the top 10. What do we do now? It's not about who the best player is who ends up winning the game versus who can handle the chaos the best. Number 1, I'm avoiding coin flips. If there's any fights that are a little bit risky, I'm not going for them. I'm looking for third parties, and I'm avoiding third parties. Now, let's say you take damage by taking a fight in something that you thought was better than a 50-50 coin flip. But now your health is really low, and somebody wants to fight you. This is where the shockwaves come into play. You shockwave out of there, you go zone, maybe you're going to have to drop a bubble, so now that you have a new location that you're trying to stay safe, this is zero build. You can't just build cover, so you have to prepare. Now, where does our vehicle come into play in these end games? We want to keep our vehicle as healthy as possible, as long as possible, because this is our cover. This is our rotation. So sometimes you need to keep moving in the end game. You do not want to get focused by people, so you might have to put your car on a hill on some sort of head glitch. maybe behind a rock, because eventually when that circle does move, you're going to need to be able to do it safely, and you want to save as many survival items as possible, and that's what keeping your car healthy does. Another thing, if you still have bubbles, throwing bubbles on your vehicle to give yourself mobility and cover can be helpful as well. Now, what happens if we get into a situation where we have to fight, or somebody takes the fight to you so strong, there's nothing you can do about it? You want to take the fight to them before they take it to you. And I'm going to show you an example here. This is a fight where I took 4th place, and he did the pickaxe thing to me, and what I needed to do is I needed to get out of the car, I needed to shoot him through the window with my shotgun, take the fight to him, rather than allowing him to do that to me. Now, with all that said, you guys, I'm going to let you watch these straight to the point end games and see if you can point out where these strategies were used to win these games, and I hope it can be helpful for you guys as well. Yeah! Come on! This is actually big brain right here. Boom! And there you have it, our how to grind rank video. If you guys have any tips that you found helpful through your grind, comment them down below, and we'll see you in the next one.